6 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Long Island Blues Warehouse, always recorded at EKO Studios, Deer Park, New York, the official studio of the Long Island Blues Warehouse. And once again, we welcome you. Tonight, we are talking to a musician that has been playing to live audiences since 1968. He has performed and or opened for James Brown, Buddy Guy, Junior Wells, Wilson Pickett, Dr. John, just to name a few. Tonight we welcome and please say hello to this week's featured artist, Felix Cabrera. Yeah, this week's featured artist, Felix Cabrera. Felix, how you doing, my man?
Very fine. Thank you for having. Very fine. Thank you for having
welcome
us
to the
here.
Blues Warehouse. Let me start by saying,
Thank you.
Let me
Thank
tell you the purpose in life to me. The song you just played has.
Are you going to tell me the purpose of my life?
I need to tell you purpose of the song you just shared for me.
Yes.
When you're on the road, getting ready to do 12 hours on the road, 3 hours in, that's when you need to play what you just played.
Listen here.
That's a revamping. That's a recharging your batteries.
By the way, that's an Eddie Harris song from 1965, 66. It was a hit. It's called Listen Here.
You great rendition you gave it today, and that's what we call coming out of the gate strong. I got to begin by saying so. Thank you for that. Great job, Felix. Let's talk about some history if we can. You're originally from Cuba.
That's right.
You came to the States at what age?
11.
And are you playing the harp at age 11?
No, but I was listening to music all the time.
What were you listening to as a child?
Anything.
What was some
Cuba,
of your
Cuba music, but that included, Nat King Cole, because my cousin used to have a record collection next door. So she had the Platters, Nat King Cole, Johnny Mathis, all that music going on. So, and then when I came here, it just followed on. I was a transistor radio kid,
Okay.
So, and then you listen to the music, whatever, down in Miami especially.
Down in Miami.
Yeah.
And
But I was just a fan.
Back then, you were just a fan of the music. And at age 11, you pick up a harmonica for the first time?
No, that was when I heard like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan the first time.
Okay, that was a big influence.
Well, yeah, that led me to seeing Paul Butterfield the year following, because he had been playing with Dylan. He did one gig with Dylan, and it's actually just Bloomfield and the bass player and the drummer, Jerome Arnold and Sam Lay. Only when that Electric famous thing.
Sure.
Butterfield didn't play, or any of those guys. But and after that, I bought one harmonica, and then I saw Butterfield, and I bought many.
That first harmonica you bought, what key was it?
Who the hell knows?
You don't remember?
Too long ago.
I had to ask. I had to ask.
It was $2.
So are you self-taught? Did you take lessons?
Yeah, I tried.
Yes to which?
Well, I tried to ask Butterfield for a lesson, and he said, "Yeah, wait a minute, kid." And then when I comes back for the second show, he had been across the street in this bar in the Village, So he said, "Wait a minute," but he really didn't want to. And then Al Wilson from Can Heat, that was another guy. But again, the same situation. They're busy, and I said, "Well, the hell with it. It can't be too hard,
My understanding is with Butterfield, you need to really get in his face and be a pain in the ass about it. Persistence pays off, and if you got in his face the way others on Long Island I know have done back in those days, it's you don't want it. It's intimidating, and you don't want to be a pain in the ass.
I'm playing with Gabriel. I ain't saying nothing.
His son, Paul's son.
Yeah, I'm playing with him. The stories about it. One day maybe it'll come out. But he was the greatest, and a Cotton is like the greatest blues player, and Walter was, of course, the best. But I have to say something about Butterfield. Butterfield went to another world that harmonica had not gone to. He started doing jazz, whatever, and he never played. If you ask harmonica guys, he never played beyond the sixth note. He'd go in there like every once in a while just to visit, but everything was within the first six notes.
Just to visit, huh?
Yeah, well,
I like the way you word that.
So, quick.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Let's talk about the first time you played to an audience, to a live audience.
Well, that was in 1968.
That was in 68.
68.
Where were you?
Route 28, from going back from.
At Motel 6.
No, from Margaretville to Woodstock.
Okay.
Trying to get for gigs. We finally landed one at the not the Joyous Lake, the Espresso, which is the cafe that's years ago. That was the place. But we didn't do much. I did lose my pimples that summer, but I panhandled.
How old were you at this point?
18.
Okay.
This is like the older guys up there in the Woodstock area.
Were you busking as well back in those days?
I never bust. Well, no, not really. No,
okay.
I never bust. I'm too,
fair question.
too shy for that. I can't.
All right, that was a fair question. I had to ask.
Unless we put a band in a truck, like my friend said, just drive around like the Beatles or the Rolling Stones did, right? Or whatever, whoever does. But no busking.
Fair enough.
But I did panhandle to the kids in the band in Margaretville. They were doing better than us. They were 15, so we would get them in the morning at breakfast.
Very cool, man. What a great beginning for you. What a great beginning. Let's pick it up. Let's jump into another couple of tunes. We'll come back and continue the Felix Cabrera journey. We'll talk to some of these other fine players. What are we doing next?
This is called Josephine, and the next one after that, because we're going to do a couple of, is called Homeland Security Office Blues.
You're going to do those two back to back. So
Yes, sir.
I say we do it. You good to go?
Yes, sir.
Once again on the Long Island Blues Warehouse, we're going to keep it moving with Felix Cabrera.
I've been investigating downtown hotels. I've written letters to my sister in Bahrain. I drank some tea with Louis in China. I tell you, man, nothing much can be finer. But I never met a girl like you. My darling Josephina, honey, how do you do? Well, Josephine, I don't know what you mean. Well, hell, Josephine, I don't know what you mean. I try to understand you, baby, but things ain't what they seem. I've been a supporting actor on an Oscar-winning movie. I played in Wimbledon, caught for St. Louis. I've been in touch with all the right connections. Sometimes I tell you I can make an invention, but I never met a girl like you. My darling Josephina, honey, how do you do? Well, Josephine, I don't know what you mean. Oh, well, Josephine, I don't know what you mean. I try to understand you, baby, but things ain't what you seem. I've been inside Iranian battleships. Sometimes I hurt someone that read my lips. Some days I deal with human imposters. That makes me feel like a highway disaster. But I never met a girl like you. My darling Josephina, honey, how do you do? Well, Josephine, I don't know what you mean. Oh, well, Josephine, I don't know what you mean. I try to understand you, baby, but things ain't what they seem. Well, Josephine, I don't know what you mean. Oh, well, Josephine, I don't know what you mean. I try to understand you, baby, but things ain't what they seem. I work for the Homeland Security Office. Fifth floor, back room. I work for the Homeland Security Office. Fifth floor, back room. And I got all my secret agents spying in you. I got my global heart working, my eagle eye too. I got all kinds If you ever go into that restaurant, don't think it's so smart to try to hide from me, because you know that I have eyes, 'cause I work for the Homeland Security Office. 5th floor, back room. Party with the boys, have fun and behave, just like that little toy. Just remember that I work for the Homeland Security Office. 5th floor, back room.
This week's featured artist, Felix Cabrera. Felix! Yes, sir. Well done, my man. Thank you. As always, well done. Got a few degrees hotter in here. Yeah. You got a little sweat on your brow.
Yeah, it's good to sweat.
I lost about 6 pounds backstage.
Well, that's what I mean. You know?
I appreciate that, man. I need you around more often. You keep doing what you're doing. I just sit there and watch, and the weight's going to pour off my body, man. That's what I need. That's what I need. That and a better diet. Another story. Let's continue the Felix journey if we can.
Yes, sir.
Let's jump into the 70s. Early 70s, you formed a Chicago-style blues band called the A-Train Blues Band.
Well, that was with Arthur Nielsen here.
With Arthur, the two of you guys.
Well, there was other fellas involved. There was a 5-piece, and we played mainly in the around Manhattan when there was really no scene at all in the 70s, you know. Until the scene actually got better, until when Dan Lynch's came about.
The Dan Lynch's, sure.
Dan Lynch's.
What were there, 3 or 4 of them?
Well,
there were a few of them,
yeah,
right?
but the other ones were like, you know, it doesn't matter to talk about them.
Okay.
It's the main one, you know. Because
Okay.
the other ones were just offshoots that they thought.
a little before my time.
They thought they were going to go Burger King, you know what I mean? But it didn't happen.
Okay. Okay.
You know, so.
So you played at the main one. You, what else were you doing in the city? Was Kenny's Castaways around back then?
Oh,
The
yeah,
Bitter
we
End?
played that, but that wasn't. We were playing at Lynch's, and we were playing at the Lone Star Cafe.
Lone Star Cafe,
That's where
sure.
we opened up for James Brown and Wilson Pickett and millions of people. You know, we were like the house band for the blues and R&B and soul there.
Okay,
you know,
very cool.
The mid '80s.
How did you and Arthur Nielsen here on guitar cross paths? How'd you guys meet?
He answered an ad in the Village Voice back in
The
'74.
Village Voice.
Yeah, in '74.
You
And-
placed this ad?
Well, well, I did, yeah, I did. But before that, I got hooked up with a guy that lives in Hackensack, who's a record collector. He's a fucking
No FCC regulations
it's a
here.
nut.
We're okay.
He's a nut, you know.
That's
but
the beauty of
anyway,
internet radio.
So he was the one that was telling me a guy was forming a band in Teaneck, and we auditioned guitar players, and he was the third. And then from there, we started playing. We backed up Victoria Spivey, the great singer from the '20s, who
Okay.
was still around then, and Tar Heel Slim, which is another of those blues singers that not too many people know, but he was around. But again, there was nothing happening in the city in those days until Dan Lynch's and that. You know.
Okay. Let's move ahead to the 80s. 84. You formed Felix and the Havanas.
And that was the band that backed up all those guys, James Brown, Wilson Pickett. We did 5
Bobby
shows
Blue
with James.
Bland,
Bobby Blue.
Dr. John, Lonnie Mack, to name a few.
Yeah, I can't remember.
So
know.
you opened up for a lot of those guys.
a lot of those guys.
Very cool. How long did the Felix and the Havanas project last?
About 6 years.
That was a 6-year project?
Yeah.
Very cool, man. And where'd you go from there?
Well, you know, there were bars that I used to go to, but hey, I wound up playing with Jimmy Vivino and the Black Italians.
From the Conan O'Brien show, the
Well,
band director.
Yeah,
with
and Arthur and I go back also like 40 years with him, you know, when he was playing keyboards, you know.
Who was playing keyboards?
Jimmy.
Jimmy Vivino started on the keys?
Yeah, he actually started on trumpet, but when we first met him, he was lugging around the Hammond.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
No, yeah.
That's interesting. So the late 90s, was that the time frame when you joined Jimmy Vivino?
Yes.
When you were an official member
In
of
the 90s. Yeah, we had played before in other times, but I was part of the Black Italian.
You guys had a steady Thursday night, right?
Every Thursday night at this club called Downtime from 92 to 97 on 30th Street.
Manhattan Music Club called Downtime.
Yeah.
How many years?
5 years
That
in
last-
a
that
row,
was
every
the
Thursday.
Every Thursday for 5 years.
Yeah.
Very cool, man. That wasn't a jam to speak of, was it? Or was
It was kind of, you know, there was a certain set of songs that he did all the time, and then, you know, and then along came June. No, what is it? And then you know, we didn't record for 20 years. We didn't do anything for 20 years.
a little hiatus?
Well, no, Jimmy just said, okay, I'm tired from the show, you know, coming at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and then having to do the show. And he wound up, like, shutting down the thing. But Blind Pig Records, all of a sudden in 2012, says, hey, man, you know that band that you had? We like to, we like to record them. Sight unseen, they heard about it.
Okay.
You know? It's like 8 pieces with 3 percussionists, drums, 2 percussionists, guitar, organ, and then... and so we recorded for Blind Pig, and then we played in the Conan show and one restaurant.
You did the Conan show?
One restaurant, no, and the restaurant and the King Biscuit Blues Festival.
You did the King
Yeah,
Biscuit
well,
Blues
we
Festival.
headlined.
What year was that?
Just last year.
Just last year.
Yeah, October. You know.
Very cool, man.
Might not happen again.
Some great history.
You
How
know.
many CDs does Felix Cabrera have out right now?
5.
Let's grab this one if we can right here. Here's the Fort Greene CD. When did this one come out?
That came out in 2004.
2004 this came out.
Right.
And you have how many CDs out?
Well, 5. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if you count the Jimmy one, it's 6.
Where
And
can
CD Baby? You can get Pressure Cooker, the Jimmy Vivino Live at the Turning Point with Felix Cabrera, and the For Green, and the Q Bops, Q Blues, which is also with Jimmy.
Very cool.
And there's another one that you can't get because it's a French record, you know. It was only released in France.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So if you go to CD Baby, you can find these Felix Cabrera CDs.
Yeah, you can find the catalog.
Very cool, Felix. Felix Cabrera, harp and vocals. I say we put you boys back to work. Let's do another one. We'll come back and talk to some of these other fine players. What are we doing next?
This is called Animalism, and this is a song by a man from Fomento and Jimmy Young and myself.
You good to go? Once again on the Long Island Blues Warehouse, we're going to keep it moving with Felix Cabrera.
Your breath, and you can even remember when last you felt like this. Animalism is rampant, animalism is true. Animalism, bing bang boom, you gotta put it through. Hey, animalism, 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 animalism. You mind me animalism. Before you get animalized, you gotta get caramelized. your brain. Don't try to deny it. Everybody knows it's true. Animalism me, animalism you. Animalism, 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 animalism. You want me, the animalism, 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 animalism,
Oh, yeah. This week's featured artist, Felix Cabrera. Well done, Felix. Let me grab on the bass, if he'll make his way up to his mic, Mr. Phil Butler. How you doing, Phil?
Good, and yourself?
Welcome to the show, my man.
Thank you so much.
Holding down the bottom end real well. You feel good up there?
Yeah, sure. Having a good time.
Let's talk about the history. Let's talk about when you began. Were you a young guy? Were you a little guy?
Yeah, like, 10. Beatles came out, Ed Sullivan, that whole thing. Yeah, sure. I wanted to get the women. Figured Paul got the woman, he played the bass.
That's what you thought, huh?
Well, yeah, I was 10,
How'd that work out?
Well, he probably did get the women.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
sure
it worked
he did.
out for me, and I actually grew to love the instrument, so.
Were you passionate with it at a young age?
Not so. Not really. Not too much for the first 10, 15. But then after that, yeah.
Then you got serious.
Yeah.
All right, very cool. Well, let's talk about things you were doing, let's say junior high and high school days. Were you involved in garage bands,
Yeah,
school
sure.
projects?
Yeah.
What are you
things
doing
like
in
that.
those days?
Yeah, I mean, like you're saying, garage bands, buddies, high school, not really playing out. More like, the garage, staying in the garage.
Gotcha.
Or the basement.
Do you remember the first time you got out with the band and played to like live audiences?
Actually, yes, it was at a high school. It was, it was unusual that we did, but we did play for, I forget where, but yeah.
Okay, very cool. How did you get involved in Felix and these guys?
Felix, I met, I was doing a gig with Pat Cicerano, I believe, and Felix came down, and he was a pretty strong presence.
You have no recollection?
Yeah, he made himself known, and we became friends, and I met Arthur and Billy through him, and sure. How long's it been, Felix? Wow,
20 years you guys have been playing together.
20 years, sure.
Very cool, man. Yeah. You make a great dynamic to the project.
Oh, thank you so much.
Are you doing anything else outside of this project musically today?
Yeah, I'm actually pretty busy.
What else are you doing? Give me some.
Local guitar guys, Joe Tano, Robert Ross, Charlie Jones.
Sure. Yeah, those are Jersey guys.
Well,
is Robert Ross Jersey or is he Manhattan?
he's New York.
He's in the city, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Great beginning for you. Great dynamic to this project.
Thanks.
Keep going strong, Phil Butler. Let me grab on the keys if he'll make his way up to the same mic, Mr. Tim Ragusis. That's right. How you doing? That's the idea. That's the idea. We all get educated on the guys that are surrounding you, Felix, and it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of young musicians, early teens, late teens, early 20s, musicians in the making that get a kick out of hearing how guys began that do this show. And that's basically where a lot of these types of questions come from. So bear with me. I'm going to go through similar things with you, Tim. Let's talk about some beginning days for you. Did you start on the keys? Was that the first thing you ever played?
Yeah, I was about 9 years old. I started piano, like typical for a piano
What
player.
was the influence?
Well, my mother played and sang, and my father was actually he played chromatic harmonica.
Is that right?
And by ear, not blues, like a different thing, and it was old world stuff. It was cool though, and I played classical music and this and that, and then later on I got playing by ear. I got into blues really deep when I was about, I guess, 15.
Very
And
cool,
then,
man.
And I was playing trumpet
You played trumpet back in those days.
Which went by the wayside.
Was that was a short-lived project?
For a few years, and we moved once, and the trumpet got lost when we moved, and that was the end of the trumpet.
Were you upset about that?
I was raised in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
You were raised in Albuquerque?
Yeah.
Area code 505.
That's right.
I don't know why I know that.
That's a good thing to know.
When you said New Mexico, because isn't that like the only area code in all of Mexico? New Mexico?
They picked up one or more.
Did they pick up another one?
There's a few more people now.
I don't know why I know that, but as soon as you said New Mexico, it came to me. And are you living in New York now? Or?
Yeah, I live in Queens.
Okay. How long you been in the New York area?
I moved here in '78. I was
78.
like 21 years old.
And there's been no looking back? For the most
sometimes,
part?
I like New York, man, and I like my home state is a beautiful place, but there's not enough music. Like when I got out of high school, I started playing with funk bands. I was playing 6 nights a week.
You were?
For 1 year, and then we went on the road for a year. I was playing 6 nights a week, 5 sets a night. So I played so much music. It was
5 sets of music nightly?
Yeah, 8:30 to 1:30 in the morning.
You were a young guy. You could handle that.
Drinking and smoking and playing music all the time, and that was what I did instead of going to college.
Okay.
So,
well, you had that education.
Yeah.
You had the music education, the live scene education. That's priceless, if you ask me. Some of the stories I'm sure you could tell off air.
Yeah, I think we got into more than people get into in colleges nowadays. I think we, but it was good.
Very cool. You make a great dynamic to this project, man. Look forward to seeing a lot more things you do in the future. Thanks, man. Tim Ragusis on the keys. I thank you, sir. Felix? Yeah, let's turn you around if we can. Where are you going? You're assuming I'm going to ask you to play another song? I was. I actually absolutely was.
Ready.
But I got to tell you, man, you brought a great ensemble of players with you.
Thank you.
And I say we keep it moving. Let's put you boys back to work. We'll come back and talk to Arthur and Billy on the kit later. What are we doing next? The name of the song is?
Get It Hard, a song that I co-wrote with Tommy DeSavino.
You're going to do that, aren't you?
Tommy Rivers, yeah.
You're going to do that, aren't you? Once again on the Blues Warehouse, let's keep it moving with Felix Cabrera.
I'm just a kid at heart. I love to do young things. I'm just a kid at heart, and I love to do young things. I love to do them in the morning and the early evening. I'm just a kid at heart. You can tell I'm having fun. I'm just a kid at heart. You can tell I'm having fun. Any girl you meet will tell you I'm the one. I'm just a kid at heart. You know I like my toys. I'm just a kid at heart, and you know I like my toys. Ice cream, cake, and candy, and a little girl for this baby boy. Spoiled rotten. I'm just a kid at heart, and you know I'm spoiled rotten. One thing I can tell you, baby, this kid will never be forgotten.
yeah. This week's featured artist, Felix Cabrera. Well done, gentlemen, as always. Let me grab on the guitar. Of course, Mr. Arthur Nielsen, Filmmaker's Way. How you doing, Arthur?
I'm all sweaty now after that one, man.
You know what? I mean, I was all sweaty after song one, just being a spectator on the side. So,
All right.
what are you going to do, my man? What am I going to... You don't really need to lose the weight I need to lose, but I'll tell you, with watching you guys do your thing and participating, quite a workout, man. Get a few degrees hotter in here.
Oh, yeah.
Putting it mildly. I want to start by saying that you and I, it appears we have some mutual friends in the New York City area.
Sure we
A
do.
couple of artists I've had on this stage, Sherry Pine.
Right. I've worked with her a bunch, yeah.
very
Recorded
cool.
with her as well.
Northern Jersey friend of mine that set you up with your slides, apparently, Mr. Hap Moore.
Makes the best slides anywhere around.
Live in the Blues Band Boys.
Yes.
These guys are great. We've had them in here.
Yep.
And another dear friend of mine, I think you're friendly with, Mr. Dave Fields.
Yes.
Very cool,
Good
man.
friend, yes.
Very cool. Well, I'll tell you what. I want to jump into some history. Let's. You're originally from New York City, born and raised.
Yes, sir.
When did you pick up a guitar for the first time? What age?
To play, or when did I first actually pick up a guitar?
Let's start with that. Let's start with when you first picked
Well,
one up.
I had a love for the guitar since I can remember. And when I was like 4 years old, my grandmother took me to like a little toy shop and said, you can have whatever you want. And there was a plastic guitar on the wall. And I said, that's what I want. And I just wanted a guitar. And then next summer, I spent another week at her house. And she said, take you to the store. We'll go shopping. And what do you want? Anything in the store? And I said, that plastic guitar. She goes, I bought you one last year. I said, but it broke. So, but it was like I just wanted a guitar from the day I can remember. But I actually didn't start playing until I was 15.
You started getting passionate with it at age 15.
Well, I got my first guitar at 15. I almost thought it was too late. I thought it was like, my parents were like, get a job, go to school, all that. Music is,
Secondary.
Yeah, But they grew up in the Depression, so that's the way they were looking at it. It's like, get an education, and I understood it. But
You stuck strong with, you put your foot down and stayed strong with what later became the passion.
I think they knew after a while I wasn't going to give up, and if they didn't buy it for me, I would have. By then, I was almost ready to start working and buy my own, so.
Let's fast forward to looks like 1979. You joined a band called Blue Angel.
Yes, I did.
Cyndi Lauper was the vocalist,
Yes.
the lead singer in this band.
Yeah, yes, I was playing with another band at Trax in the city. I don't know if you remember Trax. It was up on 72nd Street.
I do remember that place.
And Cindy and John Turry and John Morelli, the sax player and drummer, approached me after the gig and said, Cindy said, we got this band, and we,
Good impression.
Yeah, well, I worked with her enough. But, and they asked me if I was interested in joining it. So, I heard the tapes and everything. And then
How long did that project last?
Well, they were already together before, but it was like a different kind of thing. It was much heavier sounding, and then they got rid of their twin lead guitar players. And they were trying to go for that rockabilly thing, which is what I was playing at the time.
Okay.
So that's why they picked me. And I joined the band in late '79. We got signed to Polydor in '80, January of '80. The record came out that fall, I guess, in '80. And then we parted ways at the end of '82. And she went off and did her solo thing.
So what do you got? Okay, so let's move to mid '80s, early '90s. What are you doing?
Well, all throughout.
I imagine your phone's ringing a lot during those days.
It was ringing a lot, and people were calling me. And that was the scene where Dan Lynch's was happening, Tramps was happening, the Lone Star, Manny's Car Wash. All these clubs started popping up.
Buddy Fox's old place, sure.
Buddy Fox, exactly, yeah. And also, you should know, all through all this, I'm playing with Felix since 1974, off and on, throughout every other band. I mean, he'd still be calling me, and we're still doing gigs. So, but at Dan Lynch's, I was playing in about 5 different bands, sometimes 5 nights a week, playing the same song at different keys with different bands,
Oh, that's funny. You probably were doing it in your sleep at one point.
Yeah, exactly.
I can only imagine. Let's move ahead to 1998, a favorite year for me, for you,
Right.
With your career. A lovely and incredible, one of the strongest female singers this planet has right now. You joined Miss Shamika Copeland.
Yeah.
How'd you cross paths with Shamika?
Well, Jimmy Vivino had produced her first record and played on it, and he knew me, like me and Felix, from way back when. So I think my name sort of came up in the barrel of guitar players. Her drummer, Barry Harrison, who was working with her at the time, knew me as well, so I guess my name had come up. And she came down to one of the Manny's Car Wash jams when she was 18 years old. I got a funny story. We're backstage. I was working with Big Ed Sullivan, who runs the jam, and he says, yeah, Johnny Copeland's daughter's here. She's 18. She's going to sing with us. I went, yeah, sure, whatever. Whatever. Somebody else's daughter is going to get up and scream, and like, sing "Love Me Like a Man," you know, whatever. So, but she came up there and she blew my socks off.
She changed your perspective on the close-mindedness you were experiencing
Yes,
at the time.
I was jaded, I must admit.
She schooled you.
She did. She turned around and said, B flat, double shuffle, watch me for the stop. Boom. I was like, whoa, okay, you know. And so then I found out they were looking for a guitar player, and I said, hey, I'll play with you anytime. So that's how that started.
The stars and the moon were aligned properly that week.
And I've been with her 17 years as of April 27th.
God bless, man. God bless. She's one of my favorite females out there, man.
She's great to work
I'm
with.
hoping to get her on this stage, and with your help and our friend Hap Moore, maybe we can put that together somewhere down the road.
All right,
so I'm going to see if we can do that.
Yeah.
Did you do something with Papa Chubby after?
Papa Chubby produced. Papa Chubby produced three of my CDs on Dixie Frog, which is a label in Paris.
Okay.
And he was on the label, and I was on the label, and he produced those 3 records. And I've played with him. We've done gigs together, things like that here and there. I've played on his records and things like that.
Great player.
Yeah.
Great
We've been
player.
friends a long time now. Yeah. Yeah.
The best playing he's ever done is with you? And Jimmy Vivino as well. I can't argue that. I can't argue that. Arthur Nielsen on the guitar, I thank you so much.
Thank you.
There's more things I'd like to discuss with you, but we're running tight on time. I think we hit the highlights. Great reason to bring you guys back for a sequel, if we will. Let me grab on the kit, if Phil pull that mic around from behind him there. Mr. Billy Schrader.
Right.
If you say so. Billy Schrader, how you doing back there, my man?
I'm doing good. How
Welcome,
you doing?
welcome to the Blues Warehouse.
Thank you.
You're a Texas boy.
That's right.
Where are you from? What part?
I'm born in San Antonio.
A little closer on that mic.
Yeah.
You're San Antonio?
I'm born in San Antonio.
Very nice, man. How long you been playing the kit? When did you start? What age?
I don't know about.
You don't remember?
About 1963 or.
63?
Yeah.
And you were born in 66?
Yeah.
I
something
heard.
like that.
Something like that? We'll have to go back
Yeah.
and check the scripts and the bios and
No,
try.
I had a lot of influence down there from when I was a little kid. My older siblings would take me when the local dance band. They had local dance bands that come around and played dance halls.
Okay.
Big wooden halls, and I was a little kid like that, and I that was a really telling introduction for me to live music. This is the late 50s, and those bands played, if it was either country or the other kind of band, and they played basically R&B, but nobody knew it was.
Did you say it was either country or the other kind?
Yeah, like.
So you were brought up where there were 2 types of music, country and everything else?
Well, yeah, and then everything else was basically R&B down
Okay,
there.
okay.
And then that, but it wasn't really called that. Oh, we're going to hear R&B band. Nobody really. It's just what they played.
Okay.
You know, Bobby Bland. And
That's
all
what you
that.
grew up with.
Yeah, yeah. And
How'd you
then
get involved in Felix and these guys? When did that opportunity come about?
I through a guy named Guy Amato introduced me to Felix.
Very
He's
cool.
out in Vegas now.
Very cool,
And
man.
that was back in Arthur and back around '81. I don't know. Does that sound about right?
Early 80s? Can we just say that?
Yes.
That's
Very early.
Tell them the tour you came in.
Well, yeah, I've been out on the road with old Louisiana Red
Oh, no kidding.
in the Fab Thunderbirds. They were out there with us, and I came back. I played disco. I
Was
played
Doug
country,
Harmonica
and
McLean
I played.
with Louisiana Red back then when you
Who?
played? You ever heard of Doug Harmonica McLean?
No, it was just.
He played with Louisiana Red
it was
in those
just
days.
me and my 2 homies were playing with
Okay.
him on that tour.
I had to ask.
That's all right.
Well, I'll tell you what, you make a great dynamic to the project, man. Another guy that can definitely exchange eights with the best of them. And I thank you so much, man.
Thank you very
Good
much.
having you on the stage. Felix, you guys are going to play us out.
Yes, sir.
Before you do, let me do some quick goodbyes. I got to start with Arthur Nielsen here on the guitar and back and vocals. Arthur, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark.
Great having you in here today. Hope to have you in here again soon.
I hope so, too.
Back there on the drum kit, we've got Billy Schrader. Billy, I thank you again, sir. Great having you in here. Back there on the bass, let's thank Mr. Phil Butler.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you so much, Phil. Over on the keys, where is he? Tim Ragusis. Thank you, sir. Great having you in here, Tim. And last but certainly not least, vocals and harmonica, the incredible talent that he is, Mr. Felix Cabrera.
It was
Thank
a
you so
pleasure.
much, Felix.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Great having you in here. I
And,
thank you so much.
FelixCabrera.com.
FelixCabrera.com. Arthur, what's your site real quick?
ArthurNielsen.com.
ArthurNielsen.com, FelixCabrera.com. Please spell Felix Cabrera out.
FELIXCAB as in boy, RERA. Or if you miss that, just go to baseball scores. They have a million of them.
Perfect. For the Long Island Blues Warehouse, I'm Mark Klein, your host at liblues.com. Always remember to check out this studio if you're a musician or a band looking to do some audio or video, EKOProductions.com. And gentlemen, I thank you so much. We say goodbye as they play us out one more time. Thank you so much, Felix Cabrera.
Loving Cup from Paul Butterfield. We made an arrangement of it. Sun comes up, I will find you drinking from your loving cup. Won't you tell me, baby, what can I do? Well, I want to drink from that loving cup too. Baby, I want to drink from that loving cup too. You don't comb your hair, baby, you don't mend your clothes. What else you gonna do, mommy? Nobody knows. Now won't you tell me, somebody, what can I do? Well, I wanna drink from that loving cup too. Baby, I wanna drink from that loving cup too. You should be downtown working, making lots of money. They say you walk around the streets acting awfully funny. Now won't you tell me, somebody, what can I do? Well, I wanna drink from that loving cup too. Baby, I wanna drink from that loving cup too. Once you told me, baby, I could have a taste. Now you're letting all the good things go to waste. Now won't you tell me, somebody, what can I do? from that loving cup too. Baby, I wanna drink from that loving cup too. I wanna drink from that loving cup too. I wanna drink